Hello everyone, myself Dr. Parth Goswami. I am the consultant pathologist and hope this video will find you all in a good health. Today I will teach you a very important topic from immunity, that is a hypersensitivity reactions. Alright. Now first of all, do you know that immunity is a double-edged sword? Why I am telling that immunity is double-edged sword? Because see friends, the main function of immunity is a defense mechanism, right? The immunity will help you to fight against the virus, bacteria, protozoa, etc. So it acts as a defense mechanism, right? But sometime in a certain circumstances your immunity can be injurious to our health, and in such condition it acts as a double-edged sword. So I mean to say that it's a beneficial as well as injurious for our health, right? And so let's learn which are that abnormal functions of immune system, right? So these are the abnormal functions of immune system, right here. Because of the abnormal function of immune system, it is not protective, but in fact it lead to development of various diseases, right? So the first abnormal function is when your immunity is absent or inadequate, right? Which is known by the name immunodeficiency disorder. In the immunodeficiency disorder, your immunity is low, and because of which there is a more chance for development of various infection. Second condition is that when your immunity is excessive and inappropriate, right? That triggered response is known by the name hypersensitivity. Third important abnormal function is suppose the immune system doesn't recognize the self antigen, right, from the non self. I mean, the body will react against your own antigen, that is known by the name autoimmune disease. And the fourth one is amyloidosis. Now, among the abnormal functions of immune system, today we are going to discuss about hypersensitivity reactions in the detail. All right. So, what do you mean by hypersensitivity reaction? Obviously, it is an abnormal immune function. Now, here what happen? There will be excessive, abnormal, inappropriate, and excessively triggered immune response, which should not be there. Here you have the excessive immune response, and because of which the tissue can be damaged and you can have adverse effect in your body, right? So that is the hypersensitivity reaction. Simply, hypersensitivity means excessive body immune response. All right. Now, what is the another name of such hypersensitivity reactions? So, friends, whenever you have the hypersensitivity reaction, the inflammation is a major component, right? Because of release of cytokines, you will have inflammation. So, the another name is immune mediated inflammatory disease. All right. Now, which are the possible etiology for the development of hypersensitivity, right? Which are the causes? So, according to the Robbins book of pathology, basically there are three etiology for development of hypersensitivity. The first one is autoimmune disease, second one is reaction against the microbial agents, and the third one is reaction against the environmental agents. So, first we will start with autoimmunity. It is the reaction against the self antigen, right? Now see friends, normally immune system doesn't react against the own antigen, right? Our own antigen will not be recognized as a foreign by immune system, means our immune system will tolerate the own antigen and they will not react against our own antigen, right? But that is known by the name self tolerance. If the immune system doesn't react against the own antigen, that is known by the name self tolerance. Means self means itself, the immunity will tolerate the own antigen, that's why it is known by the name self tolerance. But if self tolerance fail, then body will react against your own antigen, against your own cell and the tissue, and that is known by the name autoimmune disease. If you want to learn autoimmunity in the detail, then you can check the playlist. I have already made the video on the autoimmunity, right? So that is the autoimmunity. All right. Now the second example is reaction against the microbial agent, right? During the dealing with microbial agent, the body can show hypersensitivity reactions, and basically there are four main type of such hypersensitivity reactions during the dealing of microbial antigens. The first one is post streptococcal glomerulonephritis. Here what happened, friends? Against the streptococcal antigen, your body will produce antibody. Whenever the person is having infection, the antibody will be produced against the streptococci, right? That antibody will bind to streptococcal antigen, and they will form the immune complex. The antigen antibody complex is known by the name immune complex. Because of immune complex formation, they will get deposited in the tissue, particularly in the glomerulus, and they will trigger the inflammation. That is known by the name post streptococcal glomerulonephritis hypersensitivity. Right? All right. Second mechanism is granuloma formation. That is the second example is granuloma formation. So during the dealing with tuberculosis antigen, particularly dealing with mycobacterium antigen, right? What happened? The microbe usually don't get cleared in the body. The mycobacterium tuberculosis is very resistant for phagocytosis, so they will remain persistence in the body. They will persist in the body, and the T cell will repeatedly try to remove the mycobacterial antigen. So the T cell response against the mycobacterial antigen will trigger a severe inflammatory response, and during the severe inflammatory process, a macrophage can get activated and granuloma formation can occur. The tuberculosis is a classical example of granuloma formation, which is also one of the hypersensitivity reaction. Third example of reaction against the microbial antigen that lead to hypersensitivity is rheumatic heart disease. Here what happen? The antibody will form against the microbial antigen, right? Against the antigen you form the antibody. Now here the antigen will look similar to like that of our host tissue, right? This is particularly developed in case of an streptococcus infection, right? So if the microbial antigen looks similar to like that of host tissue, then what happen? You can easily imagine that the antibody that has formed against the microbial antigen will also react with the host tissue because of cross reactivity. This cross reactivity is because of the similar antigenic structure of microbial antigen and host tissue. So this cross reactivity will initiate the inflammation, right? The antibody will react against the cross react with the own host tissue, and so there will be inflammation in the multiple organs, for example in the heart, in the subcutaneous tissue, right, in the joint, etc. So that is the example of hypersensitivity reaction. The fourth one is viral hepatitis. Here what happen? The immune response will be there against the microbial antigen, right? The immune response is totally normal against the microbe, but during the process of removal of the infection, the normal tissue will get injured, and that is the reason for development of hypersensitivity. The for example in the viral hepatitis, liver cells are getting damaged, right? In the process of removal of infected hepatocyte, in the viral hepatitis the hepatocytes are get infected. So during the clearance of the infection, these infected hepatocytes will be damaged. So that is also the example of hypersensitivity reaction. All right. Third important etiology for the development of hypersensitivity reaction is the reaction against the environmental agent. That is the most important form of hypersensitivity, and which is known by the name type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. That is also known by the name allergy, right? Here the person is having excessive response against the certain antigen, against the certain allergens, particularly environmental allergens, for example pollen, animal danders, dust mites, etc., right? The reaction against the certain drugs, certain metal ions, right? Against all these allergen, body will react inappropriately in the excessive manner, right? So the reaction against this environmental allergen is known by the name type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. And you might surprise that around 20% of the population is showing such type 1 hypersensitivity reactions. So this is all about the overview of hypersensitivity reaction. Hope now you can understand that what is the hypersensitivity reaction. Now the hypersensitivity is a very broad topic, right? Basically there are five type of hypersensitivity reaction. There is a five type of hypersensitivity reaction, and I will make a separate video for each type of hypersensitivity reaction. Thank you very much and see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified whenever I will upload a new video. Until then, take care. See you soon in the next video.